Hello, friends. Hope Savara here with a daily dose of hope. If I would have been a little bit more organized this morning, I would have put on some theme music, but I digress here. I'm going to try to pop back to a screen that I can see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I'm trying to find you on my phone so I can actually see you all because I'm on my computer. And there you are. Awesome. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope Savar here with the Daily Dose of Hope. How are you doing? It's Thursday. It's a great Thursday. I had a crazy July, and part of what I do is I hold workshops, and so sometimes for truck drivers and sometimes for other people. And in July, I held 14 of them, well, with somebody else. But almost every single week, I had something going on a Thursday. I was there. I had to be there at 9 a.m., which means I can't be with you guys. But August is here, and that means that I get to spend more time with my Daily Dose of Hope friends and family here on Chrome and Steel Radio. Good morning, everyone. Today, I kind of was like, what am I going to talk about today? And my guest had to cancel last minute, which hopefully will be back next week, which will be tons of fun. But I thought to myself, what do we need to talk about? What do we need to hear more of in today's world? Trucking or not, doesn't matter. And hands down, I think every single one of us on the face of this planet right now can use a little bit more positivity, a little bit more motivation, oomph, whatever it is to keep on trucking, to keep on moving forward. I don't know about you all, but for me, I just feel like nowadays I turn on social media or I look at the newspaper and it's just garbage and negativity. It's like, so there's a newspaper in our town called the Daily News. And I think pre-COVID, their branch in our town closed. And so now they're more towards Milwaukee. But anyways, every page of the newspaper is just like, I don't even know. It's this, I don't want to call it, it's negative, but it's also just bad. Like, isn't there a cat in a tree that someone has saved and we should talk about? Isn't there a business that just opened that's doing well? Like, isn't there a kid that overcame a life-threatening illness that we can talk about? Like, how is it that it's like there's not enough good, but yet there is so much good going on? And I think one really important thing to remember is that our brain often prefers negative. Like, we are hardwired to think in that pathway. And I look at it like it's almost like glue. When we start to hear other people talk that way, it's almost like, ooh, I want to be with that. And I don't think that deep down we want that, but we have to make a conscious effort to say enough. I talk to people all the time, truck drivers or not, and they're complaining about how much junk and garbage is on Facebook and on social media. Y'all, there is a button on your phone that you can click, and it's called unfriend, block, delete, unlike, unfollow. I mean, I don't want to sound like a total like whatever, but you hold the keys. You hold the power to improving the quality of your life. And I say this because for years and years and years, I struggled with this. And we have to protect our mental sanity. We have to protect and preserve our happiness because no one else is going to do that for us. Every single day, we have to choose to want to be better, to want to do better, to want to be positive, to want to smile instead of frown. Like those are all choices that we get to make every single day. And I feel very fortunate that I do know so many drivers that are incredibly positive, incredibly just motivating and upbeat despite the circumstances and the challenges. And I also know a lot of people that aren't drivers that are the same way. And so making that choice to live a more positive life, to be more positive with your outlook despite your circumstances is not an easy task because we all have shit going on. We all have stuff. We all have obstacles. And it's the people that are able to see through those. It's the people that are able to keep going. It's the people that, despite the circumstances and challenges, keep on trucking that get to the end. See, I used to think that there was some sort of magic formula that other people knew about that I didn't know about. I used to think there was some type of magic formula that the most successful or the wealthiest or the happiest or whatever it was, that they were doing something, that they knew something that somehow I didn't know. And I'm sharing this with you from experience, and I ain't there yet. Like I'm not where I want to be yet. But I have understood something very clearly in the last few years, and that is the only difference between where I am and where they are is that they just keep going. And so I want to encourage you. I'm encouraging myself. Like these are words I need to hear. To keep going. To stay positive. To call yourself out on the bullshit that we all tell ourselves. Because it's not going to get you where you want to go. I know that from experience. I am the queen. I am the queen of excuses and poor me sob stories. Like I was so good at them. It doesn't help. We have to make that shift in our mind somewhere. That somewhere can be wherever it is you're driving right now. That time can be right now to say, I'm going to make a change. And just totally transparent. You know, there's moments and times where it's just like, I just don't want to. Like a part of my mind, I used to call it my eating disorder brain. Part of my mind is like, wouldn't it just be better if you just sat there and felt sorry for yourself? Wouldn't it just be better if you just were like, poor me? But that satisfaction you get from that is like so small and short-lived that it's like a loop. It's like a record on repeat. We have to keep going into that hole to try to get some sort of reward, feeling, relief, whatever it is. That's why drugs are so addicting, is because it's like you get the high and then you crash, and then you want to get high again, and then you crash, and you want to get high again, and you crash. Like I would know or something. For another day. But we got to get out of that hole. We've got to get out of that hole. And getting out of that hole, the reality is very few people share that. Everyone's sharing their success stories. Everyone's sharing the aftermath, but very few people share that journey through that process. And one, I think sometimes it's you're knee deep in your own shit and you're just trying to get through it. So it's like you don't have time. But I want you to know that that journey is totally possible. So I wanted to share this morning, hopefully, a little hope and motivation to keep you moving forward, to drown out some of the negativity that's out there, some of the BS, some of the some days I just sit down at night and have a few minutes to talk with my husband. And I'm just like, Brian, when I think about and like look out at everything, it's just like, what's happening? And I can feel my mood. I can feel the fear. I can feel my mindset slowly going down the toilet. I mean, am I the only one? Drop in the comment section. Let me know. How are you feeling? How are you viewing what's going on right now? And are you ready to make that shift? Because we can sit all day long and like point out everything that's going wrong in our own lives, in the world. And it's like, and then you look at that, it's just debilitating. And it's not that I'm ignorant or I'm, not paying attention, but I choose to not focus on those things. I choose to not be afraid. I choose to not see that that is the only thing that's going on in the world. I take notice and I take inventory and I have empathy and I will do what I can. But I also need to take care of me if I can ever make a change or a difference in anyone's lives, especially my family. Like, think about that. You have the greatest impact on your family, the people close to you, your friends, the people that you're in touch with every single day. Make a change there. Start there. But you can't do that without you. So I have 7 things to start making some positive changes in your life that hopefully even just one of them can help you have a better today. So number 1, identify what you want to change. This goes back to my comment earlier when I was talking about this magical button that's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, like they all have them. And it's called the unfollow button, the unfriend button, or better yet, the block button. If there are people, pages, institutions, whatever it is, that you can feel yourself being triggered when you see that BS scroll up on your phone, I challenge you to boop, hit the unfollow, unfriend, or get rid of them altogether and block them. You have that power. Social media now more than ever infiltrates our lives more than any other aspect of our society. So you have to protect yourself, your mind, what you feed into yourself, just like you would your home. Yet we're not doing that. It's like all of a sudden guilt runs over us that, oh, what if they find out that we've unfriended them? Who cares? They don't add anything to your lives. I have done that on several occasions, and I gotta tell you, it feels so good. If I'm friending somebody and I friend them and their first response is like a private message of like, hey girl, like, or some like, I can feel it's like this guy or this girl or whatever, boop, I have no problem unfriending them, unfollowing them. Like, I refuse to let that into my box, into my psyche, because I just don't need that. I don't have time for it. So take back an aspect of yourself. What do you want to change? Now, that might not be the thing you want to change. Maybe it is what you want to change is you haven't been talking to a family member or somebody in your life for a really long time, and they used to be a support system for you and something happened. You don't even know it's been so long. My friend, you hold the keys to the Jeep. Call them. Just call them. Maybe you want to go to sleep earlier because you've identified that you're tired all the time. Go to sleep earlier. We're running a challenge for truck drivers right now, Driven to Be Healthy, and it's all about setting a healthy foundation. It's not about weight loss or how many push-ups you can do or being the fittest person in the world. It's about setting a healthy foundation. And it's so awesome. Like, I know this sounds cheesy, but I like cried the first like 2 days when I looked at a couple of people's posts, like the first time in months that they can remember that they're drinking water again. I can't tell you how many years. Okay, I owned a yoga studio for 14 years and teaching yoga for nearly 20. How hard it was to get people to see the value in deep breathing And I have drivers right and left checking off that box like it's no man's business. How many healthy changes, positive changes have they made? It's just so motivating. It's so happy. I'm so happy to see that. You can do this. So what type of change do you want to make? What type of change do you want to make? Okay, better yet, bonus points, write it down. So something really cool happens when you hold a pen or a crayon or a marker or whatever, carpenter's pencil. We always have those laying around our house. My kids like to whittle them down. When you write down things in your own handwriting, something triggers in the brain different than when you type, different than when you text. So get a napkin, I don't care, rip open a cup, whatever you have to do, and write down what it is that you want to change and read it back to you. Read it back to yourself at least 3 times out loud. Notice, there's a reason why I'm having you do this. Notice if just the thought of writing down what you want to change, your brain is already saying, don't do it. Notice when you write it down and then you hear my voice say, now read it out loud, and your brain says, don't do it. There's a part of you that is holding yourself back, that doesn't want you to change. It's like self-sabotage. And I'm speaking from experience on this because I would get into recovery and then self-sabotage myself. I would get my business to a point of gaining momentum and being successful, and then I would sabotage it. Like it was an internal thing. It wasn't an external thing. So identify the change you want, write it down, say it out loud, look at it every day to remind you, especially because you all are by yourself so much. You need that reminder. There's not a little bird right there being like, hey, don't forget. I mean, I can be that bird for you if you want, but I would probably get really annoying after a while because I would keep on pestering you. But write those things down. They're not silly. There's actually something that happens in the brain when we do those types of practices. That's why journaling is so powerful, even though we might think it's corny. I assure you, the people that are a few steps ahead of us, 20 steps ahead of us, are doing those types of practices. Okay, number 2, rid yourself of negativity. This goes back to my unfriend, unblock. Who, what, where are those things, people's places in your lives that you can just feel the negativity? It's like I was talking about the newspaper, and my husband said to me the other day on the porch when he got home from work, he looks at me and is like, yeah, I should probably just get rid of this newspaper. And I was like, what? I mean, this is the guy that, like, he is a newspaper reader. His dad's a newspaper reader. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he keeps newspapers for months until he's read them. And Brian, if you're watching this, I apologize for leaking your secret, but it's like, why? There's nothing good in it anymore. What's the point? Save your bandwidth, save your space for something better. So what, who, where, whatever it is, do you need to get rid of? Because you have to preserve you. You have to protect you. No one else is going to do that for you. I've learned that the hard way. And that's not to seem negative. That's actually to help you, help me, help other people. Because when we are 100% or pretty damn close, only then can we go out and help other people. When we fill our cup, only then can we go out and fill the cups of others. Like, gone are the days where it's like drain yourself dry and drag yourself to the curb to try to help somebody. Like, protect yourself. You are absolutely 100% responsible for you. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't help you in your life. Now, your employer, it may be hard to get rid of your employer if they're whatever, or who, I'm sure there are circumstances, we all have them, where that's just not possible. But what you can do is get rid of your attitude towards it. There are things in life that we can't change, and there are things in life that we can. What aspects around that thing, person, situation are you in control of? Can you be the bigger person and change, alter, whatever it is? I challenge you that there is something that you can do. I absolutely believe it. What is it? Okay. Number 3, exercise more, move more. If anybody knows me knows that this is just like everything I talk about all the time. This is not about you exercising for 60 minutes every single day. This is not you training for a 5K, although if you want to, more power to you. But when we move more, okay, here's the science again. When we move more, we oxygenate our brain. When we move more, when we get our heart rate up, when we're doing walking, for gosh sakes, just walking. When we do those types of things, we boost serotonin and dopamine to the brain. It's like, here's 2 little squeeze pumps in our body, and this is us sitting all day long. Nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden we start moving and they start getting squeezed again. And all of a sudden, all that juice starts going to our brain. We need those. We need those neurotransmitters. We need those chemicals in our brain in order to keep us going, in order to keep us positive, in order to keep us happy. More importantly, our cortisol levels are controlled. Our blood pressure lowers. Our digestion is improved. I could go on and on and on and on. There are so many positive things. And you all can walk. If you can't walk, sit in your chair and run and walk in your chair. Get a stepper and pedal in place. Lift hand weights. Use a resistance band. There are a gazillion ways that you can move more and you can exercise more. Get up and out of your chair 25 times. I don't care who you are. That will definitely account for some movement. It is exhausting to do that. And so what can you do? Remember, this isn't about the poor me. This isn't about the negative. What can you do? If you're in our challenge, you know that you have to commit to 15 minutes of exercise or movement every single day. That can be anything. I'm seeing drivers now doing 20, 30 minutes of movement every day just on their own. Like, I'm not telling them that they should. I'm just saying, hey, 15 minutes. But it's a good addiction, so to speak. It's like you want to do more. The more you move, the better you feel. In the beginning, it's you feel tired because you haven't done it. But move more. How can you move more? Write it down. Make a commitment and a promise to yourself. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Be kind to others. Be kind. Who is it? What is it that you need to do? Now, that being said, sometimes being kind is just walking away, but sometimes it's also being kind to ourselves. Are you being kind to yourself? How can you be kind to yourself? Are you being hard on yourself? Do you have unrealistic expectations and standards of yourself and the people around you? You can make those changes. You can alter that. And that can be right now. That can start today. Okay. Number 5. Build a support network. Who are you surrounding yourself with that will keep you on track when you get derailed? Who can you call? Where can you go when you just feel like you can't? That's why having a support group or an accountability group or surrounding yourself with people that are just a little bit further ahead or in the same boat as you are and trying with the same effort at any given place to keep moving forward. It is really hard to do something alone. It's hard to build something alone. I mean, it can be done, but why? So make a list of at least 5 people that you either call your support system or you need to reach out to and say, hey, help keep me accountable. I mean, you got to do the work too, but, or a group or whatever it is, and infiltrate yourself into that. They're out there. It's out there. I'm here. But now you just got to insert yourself into that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, eliminate the non-essentials. So obviously, it's non-essential and essential has become a buzzword of 2020. Not talking about essential or non-essential workers, but what don't you need in your life anymore? So we've been forever remodeling our house. And my husband's a contractor. And so it's like he's doing this on the weekends right now because he has a different job and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it has really been helpful because we've been living in a half torn apart house. We go room by room. And it forces us to clean that room out and like look at the things and say, do I really need this? And so more than half of our house has been in our storage shed for over a year. And it's become very clear that there's a lot of stuff we just don't need. So what is it that you need? And now I know you're a driver and you're living the majority of the time in your truck, but that being said, it doesn't also have to be things. It can be thoughts, behaviors, people, social media. I go back to that because that's such a big part of so many of our lives. Like, what are the non-essentials? What can you just say, nope, bye, Felicia, see you tomorrow? You hold the keys to the Jeep, my friend. Make those decisions. All right, number 7. Take baby steps. And I left this for the last one because this one is probably for me one of the most powerful things that any of us can do when we're trying to move towards more positivity and change. Other people may tell you to change all of this stuff or go all in, go for broke. And I'm telling you, that's the wrong approach. It's the wrong approach because there is a small number of people that can actually do that and stick with it. There's a small number of people. Maybe you are that person. And if you are, awesome. I am so happy for you and maybe slightly envious. But the majority of us have to build the foundation. I have rarely seen a house successfully built without first building the foundation. To just slap a house on the ground and go, okay, we're good. I mean, eventually that house is going to crumble. You have to build a foundation for yourself. Those baby steps, you taking one step in the right direction and then evaluating, you keep taking that step in that direction until it becomes a habit. That's a foundation. You can build a path much faster, one brick at a time, than trying to roll a boulder where it belongs and then break it up. It's just, let's see if we can build that foundation. Let's see if we can take those baby steps. So what are 3 baby steps in your life? And if you don't want to call them baby steps, okay, let's just call them foundation builders. What are 3 foundation builders in your life right now that you can adapt to your life? I'll just go off of our challenge right now because these are just essentials for life. Drink more water. Move more. Come on, we can all do 15 minutes of movement. Every single one of us on this planet. We can all do 15 minutes of movement. I promise you, you won't regret it, even if you're tired. Can we get a fruit or a vegetable in? Can we try to seek those out? Don't give me the, I'm a truck driver, there's nothing available. We have a group full of people right now in a challenge that are finding these things, making it work. Because when we want something enough in life, we will do it. We will make it work. So what are 3 things to build your foundation? Maybe one of them is adding a support person in your life. Maybe one of them is always praying before you go to bed, or listening to a meditation, or turning off your electronics, or doing deep breathing, or whatever it is. There's so many things that you could do. Journaling, calling a friend and only talking about the positive things or good things, not becoming a slam fest. Whatever it is, 3 foundation builders. Write them down. These are just 7 ways that you can increase the positivity in your life, help make those changes in that right direction, because there's only one you. There's only one you. 15 years ago, I felt like I wanted to give up. But there was like the small little strand in me that just was like refusing to lose hope. Like this tiny little itty bitty light. And for whatever reason, that was enough for me to keep going, even when I was trying not to. And I focused on that one little strand, that one little glimmer of hope, and it pulled me through. It took a while, but it pulled me through. I chose to focus on the one bright thing, the belief that there was more for me in this life, that there was a plan for me, that God had a plan for me. I focused on that instead of all of the black noise, all of the darkness that I was living in. I chose to focus on that. Even when I made bad choices, even when I did all the things that I shouldn't be doing, I still turned back to that light. What can you shift your focus to help you do the same thing? Those things are available to you. So I hope that this is just the dose of hope that you need in a world and in a time where it just seems like there's negativity everywhere. No matter how hard it gets, never lose hope. Remember that you should never lose hope. Please, please, please make it a point to thank our sponsors, Davy Crockett, TA Petro in Greenville, Tennessee. And I got to tell you, I don't think I have one. Well, I do have one. They are now carrying, super stoked, they are now carrying Stiff Mother Trucker Pain Relief Cream. Super excited. There's a few other truck stops that are also carrying our Pain Relief Cream. Abbeyland truck stop is going to be carrying that. That's our newest one up on the docket here in Wisconsin. Their shipment is going out this week. Super happy, super excited. If you know of a truck stop that would or should carry our Stiff Mother Trucker, reach out to me and let me know. And if they pick us up, you, my friend, will get a reward. But I want to thank also Chrome and Steel Radio here for having us, a daily dose of hope, here on their network. Without them, this would not be possible. And I want to thank every single one of you drivers, because you are the lifeline of America. And without all of you, we wouldn't be able to live in this amazing country that we all live in. But the most important thing, you got to share out this broadcast. Because Facebook does weird things, and we want every driver out there to know that there are people cheering for them, rooting for them, and there are opportunities for them to increase and improve the quality of their life, and it starts with you. Thank you so much. Goodbye, my friends.